Hello and happy Valentine's Day week. I wanted to make a quick video about self-love, uh, given this week of February 11th today and Valentine's Day coming up. I was recently inspired to write a post about love, the love that we express to another, and how I've been pondering and I guess becoming more aware of this lately, how the love that we feel is really all our own presence, our love, you could call it the love of source, of you can call it pure consciousness, but I'd say through the human body, it's felt tangibly when we are this clear and this consciousness melds with our body and creates energy. I'm going to call that love. And in the post I shared recently, it was saying that, if you are judging anyone, then you're receiving those judgments. But when you're loving, when you feel the love for everything and everyone, when you go beyond judgment, basically, that you're the lucky recipient of all that love, first of all. Um, you don't need to do it for anyone else. So that's kind of why I wanted to call this self love. And when you feel the love, the gratitude, the joy, the even the magic of life itself, and you see the beauty in everything and everyone, you get to receive that love, that joy, that fullness in your heart and in the cells of your body first. And of course, the more that your heart is wide open, the more love you are radiating, which you could also say the less blockages you have in your body, energetic and physical, because it's completely mirrored, um, the more life force flows through you. So the more love you emanate, the less judgment you have, the healthier you are, the better you feel mentally, physically, emotionally, the more you enjoy life. So for me, that would be the ultimate act of self love. So sometimes I look around and I wonder why people don't love themselves more. And of course, I know the answer because at one point I've felt really crappy in all ways because I was so conditioned to live otherwise. And we're all born into this sort of um, old energy judgment conditioning that we at some point, most of us, if you're listening, uh, started to wake up from and go, oh, wow, I do have the ability and the capacity to create my own life, my own perspectives. Like, do I want these beliefs? No, I don't. Do I want to judge myself and judge life and feel awful? No, no, no. Um, but yet, why do so many people get stuck in judgment and have all this calamities going on in their physical body, their mind, mental, emotional, in their world, in their life? Um, well, it's so conditioned and it takes such a, for me anyway, my experience has been that it's taken a diligence, like a discipline. If there's one thing I'm disciplined about, it's being aware of what thoughts I'm giving power to. They come and go, but am I going to latch onto it and choose it and identify with it and bring it into my body and bring in the corresponding emotions into my body? So am I going to pick a thought and be upset or angry or sad, well, then I'm going to create an emotion and put it in my body. My body's going to have a blockage. So the alternative to that is to say no more, no thanks to judgment. And I'm going to use a example today because I think examples really help make this real for people. And also, when your conceptual mind can grasp it and you can see how you've been doing it in your life, it's like, oh, that's how I'm doing that. And that's how I can stop doing that if I want to. I mean, everyone's welcome to do whatever they want. That's the beauty of human life, isn't it? But if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're sick and tired of yourself, then this is an example I want to share. So yesterday I was talking to some people, and then after we were done talking, uh, somebody who I was, walking away with was like, "Wow, that girl was really not very nice." And I was like, "Yeah, I noticed that." And then she was saying, "Well, she said this or that or blah blah blah," and she was, we'll say, not very nice in response to one of my questions. So you could say that she got a little snarky with me. Um, and I said, wow, yeah, I noticed that. But I said in the same breath that it happened, it was done. And I just continued on with the conversation like it never happened. And in my own conscious awareness, it really didn't happen. I mean, it happened, but it didn't happen to me. So I remember maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago or 20, whenever I read The Four Agreements. If any of you have read that, it's such a popular, lovely book that is just profound. Uh, you know, don't take anything personally. And I remember practicing that years ago, practicing it and going back to that book again and again and again. And so it didn't happen overnight. But eventually, every time somebody said something, did something, reacted, was mean, rude, whatever. It's a big world. You got all different shapes, sizes, colors out there, and you're going to run into that. But literally every time that would happen, I would stop and feel the reaction and go, "Wait, that is completely nothing to do with me. It's not even my business. It doesn't have to be my business." So I don't have to even pause and think about it, talk about it, look at it. I can take a breath and just keep moving on with my day. Now, again, that probably took me, I don't know, a couple decades to really wire that one through my brain, my body, and my consciousness. Um, but the way that I would describe something like that is, it's bad enough if somebody is rude to you. And now, before I go into this, just know you can apply this to the people in your life, the work situations, the world situations, the family situations. You can apply this to, I don't know, the way somebody's driving down the road. So this applies to everything. But, isn't it bad enough if somebody's rude to you or, I don't know, cuts you off in traffic? Something already, we'll call it not so nice, happened, not so loving. But why would you make it worse by adding fuel to the fire? So if you stop and you think about it and you chew on it, uh, all you're doing is creating an emotion, stuffing it in your body. Now your body has more emotions to clear. You're going to need to go get some more Reiki sessions or whatever it is you have to do to clear energy. Uh, but really, why would you do that to yourself? And I mean that like, take a breath with me and feel that in your own heart. I mean that with love. Because when I see this happening, oh, why would you do that to yourself? So, where are you judging people, places, things, the world? Where are you stopping and focusing on the judgment? Now, if you need to stop and focus on it and unwind it, then do that. That took me a long time to stop and go, okay, is this worth my energy? No. Somebody was already kind of like, I don't know, taking a jab at me. I can take a breath and carry on, or I can think about it. So I choose not to give it 1 ounce of attention, not 1 ounce of energy. I'm aware of it, but within definitely probably 1/10 of a breath, it's gone. It's no different than being aware of, when you're watching a movie, you're aware of 10 things at the same time, on the screen. And, but every ounce of energy you give it, every second that you give attention to that, you're taking away from what it is you want to focus on, what it is you could be doing. And if you're judging it, then you're putting that emotion, those emotional blocks into your body. If you're contemplating it, stepping back and unwinding it, that is fabulous. So, take a step back, contemplate, and wonder, is this really worth thinking about? Have I been thinking about these things? How much energy have I been putting in this? Because thinking takes a lot of energy. A lot of your creativity, a lot of your life force gets put into these thoughts and these contemplations. And so it's fine to contemplate things, but I would recommend you either contemplate things that are, I don't know, fun and joyful, or if you're going to contemplate something, do it with the intent of, do I really want to contemplate this? Or why did this happen? Or how can I unwind this and be done with it? So that then you can start to shift more of your awareness into what you do want in your life. Because everything we focus on, really, if we just keep focusing on something, we start bringing more of that into our life. So it's where you start being very, very quick, and then eventually it just doesn't even happen anymore. So in yesterday's example, when the person said, "Oh yeah, this happened," I was like, "Oh yeah, did that?" And it's actually pretty cool because this has been like this for years where somebody will say something later and I'll go, "Oh yeah, that's right." Like didn't even notice. I mean, I was aware, but there's not even a millisecond of a reaction, a pause. It's like, I don't have time for this. I don't care. Act how you want to act. And when you realize people are just acting from their own level of consciousness, their own reality, their own issues. And when they're projecting them out to other people, it's like, well, who's going to catch that issue and buckle horns with me energetically? And now you've got an energetic push and pull. And, in the spiritual world, what do people call these plugs, cords, streams? Cords, cut the cords. Well, if you start arguing with somebody in your head, you've created an energy attachment, cord, entanglement, or whatever the heck. And now you will have to unwind from that. And there's a feeding that goes on back and forth. And that is why also this is so difficult to, we're uh, going back to why do people do it? This is what makes it so enticing. I don't want to say it's so difficult because once you see it, you can just stop doing it. It actually is very difficult to live in the way where you stay doing this because of how it makes you feel. So, why do people do it? Hmm. Well, anytime you stop and you pause and you look at what happened, what's happening in the world, or what happened here, or over there, what this person said, and you judge it, oh, can you believe the way that person's acting? What a jerk. Anytime you do that, that is like crack, cocaine for the ego. Because anytime you are making somebody else wrong, that is just fortifying this self righteous, egoic sense of identity. And if there's one thing that the ego is completely addicted to, it is um, being right. Because if you're right, that means somebody else has to be wrong. So, one of my favorite things is everybody's right. Everyone's right. Whatever you choose to believe, you're right. And letting everybody be right. And what I found when I was unwinding that, especially with, we'll say, maybe people or situations that have long held you hostage, meaning for most of your life, you've had judgments about these certain things and they've long been aging you, draining your life force, creating havoc in your body, your mind. Those things are typically held on with such vigor. It's like you're going to hold on to them for dear life. And unfortunately, that can be the truth because your life force gets strangled. So, the things that we are right about really are the thing to look at. If you feel like I'm right and someone else is wrong. I'm right and this is wrong. And what is that identity? What identity is really attached to that? For myself, I can remember having a very, 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 very strong hmm, intermeshed. I was strongly intermeshed with an identity of a parent. And when my oldest was, I don't know, a teenager, I had a hard time discerning, is this me or is this like an egoic arrogance? Because there were times it would really like, I don't know, I'm her mom, I should do this. But in the end, I unwound it and realized, wow, that was all the ego. I'm the parent, you're the child. I'm right, you're wrong. You do things my way. Um, and that's not love, that's division, that's separation. That's not coming together to look at things and form a solution together. But the energy, the aspect that I had, the energy of it was so, so, so strong. Sometimes it would almost like overtake me. It's like being possessed by, the devil. No, not the devil, but, this angry aspect would just rah, 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 and my way or the highway type of thing. And then I realized this was just a egoic construct of emotion that was really addicted to power and control. And power and control, there's really no love in that. Now, you can be in charge of the house and paying the bills, but trying to control everything and everyone is only going to push everyone away. Um, it's really where we have the ability to sit down with people, for example, and say, hey, this is what is going on here. This is what works for me. Can you help me come up with a solution? Can we come up with something together? And of course, when you're coming from the absence of separation, of judgment, then usually people are really open. I don't know, it's some kind of voodoo magic. Honestly, it's hard to explain because I've found that now over the years, when I'm not coming from a place of control, judge, making anybody wrong, nobody's wrong. I honor everyone's perception, opinion, where they're at, no matter what they're doing. That's not my place to judge. I wasn't born with a gavel in my hand, and so why would I want to try to crucify another human? Because if you want to look back through my whole life, 50 years, there's a lot of stuff people could judge me for. Does anybody really like to be judged? So when you experience this openness, it's an energetic, tangible, visceral experience. This isn't conceptual. There is a energetic harmony with people, places, things. You flow through places. I'm not going to say that everyone totally likes me or loves me, but it doesn't matter. See, that's kind of the cool part. At times, when for whatever reason, if I trigger somebody and you get a sideways look or whatever, that's where you take a breath and it's gone as soon as it happens. And because there's no reaction, there's no energetic entanglement here, there's no magnetic tug of war, it dies immediately. And basically, if they're looking for a fight, they forget about you and they go find somebody else who's playing in the sandbox. So, the ability to unwind from judging people or from judging judgment or from playing in judgment altogether creates this beautiful flow and harmony in your life and with people, places, and things. And, if somebody chooses to walk away, great. There's no need to pause and try to react to anything. You kind of just keep flowing. So I call this really sort of the ultimate self-love. If you did this one thing, if you're not living this way in every relationship, in every area of your life, then I promise you, if you choose this one thing and just do this 100%, your everything will change. Your health, absolutely. Your clarity. Not only does your body become clear energetically, you become more vibrant, more healthy, your mind is going to clear out because a lot of that chewing and mental noise that people have is repeating things from the past, chewing on what happened a minute ago, a day ago, a month ago, whatever. Um, and all that energy that you've had out in the past comes back to you. And it's not just that your consciousness was split off in the past, it's that it was also split off rolling around with judgment, sadness, anger, emotion. And the other thing I do just want to point out is that behind these identities that want to be self righteous, like I want to be right, I want to make somebody else wrong. What is underneath that? Why do we do that? Well, feel into your heart. What do you suppose is behind that? Any place you've been doing this in your life, just feel into it for a moment. Because I'm going to tell you right now, what is behind the anger, um, I don't know, the fight is delicate, innocent parts of you that felt judged. It's just like a shield and a sword that we started creating to protect ourselves. But unfortunately, the more we fortify the shield and the sword, the more we are ignoring this part deep inside of us that felt like it was wrong. So we have this other part, just have to be right. I have to make other people wrong and or make the world wrong, or I got to judge something so I feel important. I feel solid. I feel strong. I feel right. Unfortunately, we're fortifying the thing out here that is protecting the thing in here, which is the core wound within most of us, all of us, I could say, being born onto this planet, basically deciding there's something wrong with me. I don't fit in. I'm unloved. I'm not worthy. We've all felt abandoned and rejected and betrayed, or some combination of that, whatever words you want to use. It's the part that feels unlovable and like there's something wrong with you. So, what do we do to protect ourselves? We go out and we fight for ourselves, which is beautiful. I mean, it's not to be condemned, but it is where we wake up and we go, okay, I see you out here fighting. I see, and again, these energies can be very convincing. Sometimes it's hard to discern, like this really doesn't feel like love. No, this is protecting myself, rar. But anyway, and anger is going to come up because there's anger in between these delicate parts and this one that's fighting. That's kind of the wall, the barrier is all this emotion, which is where we can keep fighting out here and we just keep supporting that old emotion, the sadness, the guilt, the shame. Feeling unlovable makes you feel very ashamed. And, or we can take a breath and say, okay, I'm done fighting. Go into your heart and say, show me the truth and show me the love within myself. Show me the truth within myself and start connecting to those parts, welcoming them home and laying our swords down, laying our shields down, because in life we can choose love or hate, love or fear, love or battle. I mean, I don't know. And again, you don't have to choose love for anyone else because all the battling that happens out here is just taking you away from this inner connection to you. That beautiful, innocent, delicate, perfect part that felt unperfect because, the world tends to tell you that. Um, that part is pure love. And it's your connection to you as source, as creator. And it's where we open this connection back up and this pure consciousness knows no bounds. So, from the depths of your wisdom, your eternal beingness, who you authentically are, you clear all that emotional blockage out. You drop the swords, the shields, whatever, and now you're radiating love. And going back full circle to where this started, the more love you emanate, radiate, the more whether you wake up in the morning, oh, I'm so grateful, I'm alive, my body works, I have a roof over my head. It's a new day. Anything can happen. Gosh, look at, I even have a phone and a computer. I have 8 billion family members on the planet because they're all human. So they're all family. They're all the same at the core. Namaste. The light in me honors the same exact source light at the core of you. And the more we feel and express and emanate and radiate this love, the healthier and clearer our bodies and minds become. And it really is, in essence, that simple. It can be distilled down into such a very simple truth. And yet the mind at times will try to make things very complex and just convoluted. I don't know about your mind, but my mind was pretty good at that. How about you? So, can you simplify everything and give yourself the ultimate act of self love? It's where I say, show me the love I am. Help me to be and help me. I'm talking to me, all of myself, source, creator. Call it your higher self, your soul, whatever you want to call it. Help me to be, express, and feel the love that I am. And every ounce of love that you radiate, that flows through your body, because without those blockages and all those emotions and barriers and all the separation between you and all these identities, you're a portal of source. Your body is a conduit. So I, like you, am a facet of creator, of source that picked up a human form. This body is a conduit for my consciousness, my wisdom. It's that simple. Everything in between is sort of like a distraction. And it's a beautiful distraction. Again, this is not where we're judging judgment. Let's not judge the world, judge consciousness, judge the evolution of humanity. So, if you can do one thing for the ultimate act of self love, can you judge nothing? And whatever you choose, you're right. However, you want to live, you're right. You get to choose to believe whatever you want. You get to choose any perspective you want. I myself, as I'm inviting you to do, I'm going to choose the highest perspective. I'm going to choose to see the beauty in everything and everyone as much as possible. Doesn't mean I'm going to invite everyone over for dinner. No, I don't want everyone over here. I'm not going to even judge myself. I'm going to choose the highest potentials for me, only what feels good for me, what feels loving, supportive, healthy. I'm going to, at times protect my energy by saying no to people a lot. That's also self love. So every ounce of love that you feel for other people, for the world, it's all just you. Every ounce of judgment that you choose towards others, you embody it first and you feel it first. So whether it's you, whether it's the world, it doesn't really matter. Are you going to choose love or judgment for your mind and your body? Because you receive it first. You embody it and you emanate out whatever frequencies you're choosing to create. And so for this Valentine's, I wish you all lots of love. And and if you're choosing otherwise, then that's fine too. You're you're right, and that's the beauty of human life. And I love you anyway. So, thank you guys for joining me today. Um, if you are interested in joining any of my events right now, we have every Friday a live event at 2 p.m., a group event on Zoom. You can go to my schedule at cathybaumann.com. And if you want to work together, I do offer free 30-minute discovery session to talk about what you got going on and see if you would like to work one-on-one together. So I wish you lots of love. Namaste.